YouTube, how you doing? Right, so day on the testing bench, pretty much. Well, it was a combination of a day on the testing bench anyway. I'll probably have to grab actually one of my thumb drives or one of my USB drives, run some tests on this, which is currently the computer we're working on. Running some tests on the components, pretty much, to make sure everything's nice and kosher. Nice and kosher is all good. So let's see. I need my testing tools to be plugged in somewhere. So in the middle, I'm going to put the camera down for a second. So, dip. Okay. Hello? I don't know, should I be? I don't know, I've got to think about this, man. Right, okay. So let's see. As you can see.
Right. Tell the crow, tell double 07 I'll be in shortly.
Alright, so let's see.
Alright.
So we've got that one there. So what I want to basically do, well, this is pretty much I have to get my work drive out anyway. Run some tests, that's what I want to do. Let me see, Everest. That'll be the engineer edition, I guess. So I'm just going to run some tests with basically Everest just to see if anything falls over, if anything dies in the arse, aside from other things, just basic testing of components. And we'll do a burn-in test. What do you got to go down to thing, have you? It's a stability test. So it was a stability test, so we're going to stress local disks, we want to stress everything else, and then we just hit the start button, and I pretty much just test everything, see if anything falls over, basically. Well, I mean, I know the hard drive on there, so only a laptop drive, so that drive is not going to be the actual drive that I end up putting in the end. I'll probably run my own stress tests on the actual drive I end up putting in there. But this is more to test the motherboard components, RAM, video card, such, you know, things of that nature. It's just to test that, just to make sure everything's actually going to function well. What's the, let's see, 40 degrees. So, well, basically at the moment I just want to see what the temperatures end up being and what they end up coming to. Statistics. Today, average 31, CPU's 31, and well, it seems pretty good, doesn't seem too bad. Just basically at this point I'm running stress tests on the system to make sure everything's going to run stable, whether it be hard disk or anything else. Just, you know, this is sort of test the SATA connection initially, test the PCI Express a little bit just to see that if I do stress anything it's not going to die in the middle of everything that I'm doing. I'll leave that running, so let's see. It's been running for 1 minute 21 seconds. I'll leave it running for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, just to see if everything works. And then from there, I may today end up building this computer into a new case, or into that case right there, which is the primary case that I'm going for, which is the one I purchased. So, the only other component which I'm sort of what I want to do something with is this. I'll probably end up putting this power supply in. I have to test. I might run a bit of a test on it first. I've got a power supply tester anyway, so I'll run a bit of a test on it first. Make sure it's all in good working order. The power supply that I'm running it off currently is just a basic 400 watt, so it's nothing fancy. That one is a bit more substantial because it looks more. It's more of a Cooler Master. Cooler Masters seem to have a better throughput other than most of the power supplies that I'm coming across these days, so I'm pretty happy with the Cooler Master power supplies. I have got a Antec inside the system, which is a 500 watt, but I'll probably keep that for something else or a different project. So, yeah, pretty good for that. They've got a couple of hard drives here, which I don't know. I don't know. I still got to test that a little bit because I was having problems in my nephew's computer, so I don't know whether it's actually Cactus or whether it just needs a bit of a burn-in test to see if it actually does work, or maybe it was just the way my nephew's computer is configured in the sense of hard drives boot records, things like that. It might be actually related to the reason why it started playing up. But I'll test that. Then I've got this one, which is another 500 gig, which is a Western Digital basic SATA. Put that in there. Well, we'll have one for the OS, one for the which I'm planning. Yeah, what are we? See, I don't know. I'm figuring I'll keep at least, if I can test at least both of these drives and just see if they both work. Which I know, pretty sure this one's okay. This one, yes, it was showing up, but I just don't know whether it's got any sector problems or not. This, I don't know. I may end up keeping one of the 500 gigs for a later build that I do. I don't know. I have got 120 gig here, 80 gig there. At this point, I'm trying to work it out because it was going to be like a semi sort of gaming machine, it'd be a reconditioning gaming machine, basically, which was the premise I was going for. So I figured if I put two 500 gig drives in there, one for storage, one for games, you can't go wrong really. And then over here, right here, is a graphics card that I picked up, which is 1GB version. It's an A6 GT. It's nothing fancy. So it would not be a high level gaming machine. It'd be like a reconditioned sort of gaming machine type thing, Still got to run that for a few tests, but so far on the bench it seems to be working. I haven't actually installed any video card drivers, so I might install some video card drivers at a bit of a later date. Test if things are actually working. I may put more RAM in there. What are we? So what do we got? There's 2GB in there at the moment. If I put another 2 in there, 2, 3. Yeah, if I can find two gig sticks in amongst my RAM pile, I will definitely put them in. I'll make it 4GB. The processors are 3.0 GHz. The Core 2 Duo. So I mean, it's nothing fancy, but you'll get away with most or certain types of games, and I mean productivity and stuff. I mean, not every single game will go for it, but basically that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build something on the cheap, as I said. So as you can see, currently that hard drive is plugged in to there. That's what I'm running the OS off at the moment. I pretty much installed an OS on there just to test if I could install an OS, because that's the first key point. Installing an OS is the major point of reference. The thing that I ended up using to install the OS, I used my portable DVD burner, or a little portable one that you plug in by USB. Booted off that, and away I went, and then pretty much everything worked. So at this point in time, I have pretty much all the components I need to make a machine. I did have an initial fan problem where the fan was revving up really loud, but I figured out there was an optimal setting which wasn't actually set in BIOS, so I had to set that in BIOS. Once I did, the sound was very good and it wasn't extremely loud and wasn't having extreme sound issues basically. So yeah, pretty much everything is fixed up on this. I got a backplate for it, which it's not exactly the most matching backplate, but it does match pretty closely, so it'll sit in the case and it will sit in properly. So I mean, it's not the perfect match, but it's pretty damn close. So I'm not going to gripe over that. I'm not going to complain over that too much. It did take me a while to find an actual backplate, so at this point I'm just lucky that I found one, to be honest. So I got that one. It's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 4. It's got 4 SATA ports. Basic PCI stuff on there. Look, it's not the most fanciest computer, but for a reconditioned computer, it's not too bad. So I mean, at the same time, I mean, it's not exactly brand new gaming material, like if you especially want to play the modern games, but it'll work. So, little item, as I said, I got that little voltage test. I can also check the voltage testing on the front. See, at this point though, I'm a little annoyed because this is something I actually have to do for this. I might have to do for this case. I need to get a US 3.0 converter to 3 header like it goes onto the board for a USB 2 and connects into USB 3 ports, or you know, for the USB 3 header that I have on the case, I need to connect it to a USB 2. So I need to basically convert over from the two of them. So hopefully, I don't know, that won't come for a while because I probably won't end up getting it straight away. So maybe a week. Well, I'll see. Depends on money permitting and budget permitting, of course. I can get that extra component, because that's probably something I actually have to look for online to see if I can actually get it. Which I'm pretty sure it is available. Hard drives. Old SATA hard drives. As you can see, at this point it's just a case of testing this pretty much. I'm testing this to see how well it responds, what temperatures it gets up to, what temperatures it does, you know, sort of roughly around the angle of the temperatures and stuff. I'll probably I'll definitely leave that test running for a few hours just to make sure all the components are working. I did test it with another video card, which was only 512 megabytes of video memory. This has got 1 gigabyte, so I'm basically testing this one at the moment just to make sure everything's working on it. So, well, the sense of, you know, just being able to support video for, you know, without falling over after an hour of just doing random stuff or being on Windows. I haven't done anything graphically intensive on that card yet, but I will at some point. I will test it more extensively in the sense of I'll run games and things like that on there. I might even do it now. I think I do have some games on that drive, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I have some games on that drive. So yeah, that's pretty much my plan. That is my plan, is to test these components. I mean, these aren't the major key components I'm going to be using for the system, but, you know, at the end of it, it's pretty much the plan. I mean, forget that 500 gigabyte drive. I mean, I don't know. I could probably afford to install it. Take that other drive, the drive that I've got there, which is the laptop drive I'm using at the moment. Install an actual OS on the 500 gigabyte and just, you know, run the 500 gigabyte through. So yeah. So yeah, pretty much everything is not too bad so far. I'm doing pretty well with today's testing bench, or today's test bench. Today's test bench is just sort of, you know. It's stuck in limbo until I properly know the components are working. I did have an initial fan curve issue where the fan would get really fucking loud, but I fixed that by adjusting the fan controls in the BIOS. So that's quite good. Sorry?
No, sorry, I didn't realise you were talking.
Oh.
I'm all wondering then, put that fucking lunch with me and go out and run around.
Yeah, alright, no problem.
I'll see you later.
So basically, this is my premise, or the premise that I'm working on. Or the premise that I'm pretty much going for. The plan at this point is to test the components until I know they're absolutely, well, almost foolproof, or almost not dead, or fucking, you know, pretty much to the point where they might fall over themselves. Well, hopefully I can test them enough to the point where they don't fall over themselves, but it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. The thing's going to break down. But, on the plus side, I'm pretty happy with the end results so far of testing these components, because I have tested the motherboard before. It's more the case I'm just plugging in the graphics card and testing that a little more, just to see if it, you know, graphic artifacts come up, you know. Things do happen with older cards and things of that nature. I might even dust that video card out a little bit more, maybe dust a couple of, well, I've got a couple of cards I could dust out there and blow some dust out of them anyway. Then eventually I'll end up building that into a case, which is the plan. It's pretty much all planned out at this point, so we'll see how we go and we'll see what level we get to. Now, I should also mention, like, I took this out of my computer. It's PCI Express SATA card, PCI Express 1. So I took that out on my computer because I needed room to put my sound card in, and my sound card is giving me a lot better performance regardless in sound and things like that, and just generally I'm doing pretty well with stuff, so I'm pretty happy. The next upgrade that I'm doing to my computer, which will sort of include my nephew's computer as well, the next upgrade that I'm going for, I'm getting another 3 terabyte drive, because most of the drives I have in my computer are all, at least most of them are 3 terabyte drives. I've got one 4 terabyte drive, but I got two is it 2? Yeah, 2 3TB drives. So hopefully I'm going to replace another drive with a 3TB this week sometime. Of course, pending when the mail actually arrives and when it actually arrives in the mail and it comes to me. Yeah, that'd be great. But at this point, I'm ending up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the old 2TB on my nephew's computer, so he's got a little more space for his YouTube videos and stuff. That way, it sort of upgrades him and at the same time I'm upgrading myself. I mean, admittedly, I'm looking towards my own benefit at the end of it. But the truth of the situation is that yes, I'm looking towards my own benefit, but I'm also it benefits people below me. You're not below me, but it benefits people in the house as well because I pass the upgrades on to my nephew and such. So yeah, at this point, what I'm thinking that I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into my nephew's computer. Take there's an old 500 gigabyte in his computer that doesn't actually appear to be showing up. Not sure why. I'm gathering maybe the driver's failed. I don't know, but it didn't fail the last time, so I don't know why it's vanished now. In any case, I'll check and I'll get the data off it. If I can get the data off it, I'll get it off. So yeah, sort of stuck in limbo with some of that stuff. Some of the stuff I'm stuck in limbo a little bit because I've got the heatsink and everything else. There's one more component I really got to get for this computer, which is the USB 3.0 to 2.0 header, which has got to go on the motherboard and sort of be able to, so I can actually have ports on the front of this case. Yeah, I know, it's probably not the wisest choice. Well, look, I bought the case because it was cheap and it came with a power supply. It was considerably, it was like 90 bucks, no, maybe 70 or 90 bucks or something, and it came with a 500 watt power supply anyway. 520, something like that. I think it was a 500 watt power supply, but my point is it came with a power supply and it was a nice case, it was an Antec case. So I wasn't majorly griped, and you know, the price wasn't overly shadowy at all in my mind, so the price actually, you know, came to a pretty good extent. So at this point in time, I'm stuck in limbo with that build because I want to build it, but I haven't got everything to necessarily get it ready. This one is exactly the same issue, which I need to get a bigger drive for it because it only has. God, that's weird. Fuck. Piss off. So close this. So if you go to the drive that's on there is only actually 14.2 gigabytes. It is a solid state drive. It is a chip drive. It's basically a chip that I need to replace in, well, it's like a little chip in PSUD or something. I looked it up online. It's this Dell specific sort of thing, and it's like a chip that you actually replace that clips into the motherboard. Once you clip into the motherboard, basically it runs, it's like solid state, basically. What is solid state? Now, at the same time as being solid state, it's pretty cool. Now, the other side of the spectrum of that is that I basically need to replace it, and the problem is I need to have the funds to do so and replace it, and I'll make money back on it. But yeah. Alright, I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you very much, YouTube. This has been the day on the test bench with me, doing some tests and general stuff with my computers, or with the projects that I am working on, which is the main project I'm working on at the moment. You normally be able to see me doing repairs and stuff, but no repairs at this point. I finished all my repairs. I had about 4 or 5 last week, so which wasn't too bad. To be honest, I wouldn't mind a few more, and I'm always happy to receive more. So subscribe to me on Google+, Twitch TV, Twitch TV, Google+, Facebook, Instagram, all those services, Twitter as well. I'm always on those services, so, you know, give us a poke if you've got any questions or you're just curious about something. Oh, fuck. If you're curious about something or you just want to talk, or, you know, just about technical stuff too. And, yeah. So please stay tuned, and definitely I've got more coming up on this channel, so please stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy, well, I hope you absolutely enjoy my channel. If you do enjoy my channel, make a contribution, big or small, to me and creating more content, different content for different things, whether building a new array or something, or, you know, building a new gaming machine or specific parts, you know. Basically, you know, big or small contribution, feel free to help my channel out. So, alright. Thank you very much, and catch you, YouTube. Bye. What are you doing, YouTube? Basically got a new heatsink today, which I just got this delivered a little bit earlier. This is just a backup heatsink. Well, this is going to be a heatsink I'm going to be using probably to on a computer that I'll be building at some point in the future. I already have a heatsink from previous, so I got a heatsink from work, which this one's sort of a backup heatsink, but I bought it anyway. It wasn't overly expensive, so I figured why the fuck not. Anything I might do is maybe screw it, or maybe, okay, so maybe there we go, so this might work a little better. And right, so if I can come off. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right, so this is pretty much the heatsink in its entirety. A little bit of thermal paste there, which, to be honest, is not the greatest thermal paste, but I'll probably end up using a different type of thermal paste most likely. So that's my backup slash sort of my, yeah, this is my backup one. This is sort of my backup 775 sockets bridge thing, or heatsink, which I can use at a later date, which would be great and spectacular and good for usage. What is it? The name of it actually is Cooling Baby, which is actually the name of the company. Wow, that's just sad. It's just sad when it's actually that. It's a 775. It's designed for a it's designed for. Doesn't actually. It's weird. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is designed for a 775. Better be. I'm pretty sure the one I bought it was designed for a 775. We'll see. It's all good. It should fit it. I don't see a problem with it fitting it, to be honest, and it should be interesting. So, it's weird. I thought it said it was it's a Pentium anyway. Oh, it's not a big issue anyway. All good. I wonder whether it actually. It'll probably go through. Yeah, I'm guessing not a lot of the shape. Some of the shape of these things does change a little bit, but not dramatically. So I don't see it being a big issue. Yep, that's fine. Anyway, so I've been fixing up this computer. As you can see, I've been running a test for now for about 6 hours in total for my testing time on the testing bench. And see, 6 hours 23 minutes I've been running this in total for that. So working pretty well so far. Oh god, my neck is killing me at the moment. A little bit of a sore neck, but oh. So working well so far, no big issues. Hardware hasn't fallen over and caught a light or caught flames. Just doing some standard tests anyway. What I might end up doing though is probably plugging a more sturdier hard drive in there just to test it and actually install Windows on that and see if it works. So yeah, no big issues. Working all nicely, and it's been testing for 6 hours now about. I might leave it for a bit longer anyway. I've been going for 6 hours, but 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours on the testing bench has been pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the end results of it. These are the two hard drives I'll probably be using for the actual build. I don't know whether I'll probably use a smaller OS drive, or maybe I'll just toss and turn and see what I do. I'll see what I do when it comes to it. So, pretty much the case that I'm going to be using. Got the power cords and everything else, all the different bits and pieces I've got there to fix up. At this point it's just sort of stuck in limbo because I want to get it fixed up at this point, but I'm not in a rush to do it. Mainly because I figure, okay, well you look at most of this stuff here, it all pretty much works anyway. The only thing I might do is maybe clean off that video card a bit and clean off the heatsink on the CPU. Not too bad, not too shabby, and I'm pretty good. for now. So at this point, I've got a bit of a headache, so I might I'm gonna go and take some meds anyway. So what I might do is get back to this in a minute. Have a bit more coffee, because I haven't had a lot of coffee today, and I think I need a little more energization, because I'm just totally fucking zonked at the moment. Just one of those afternoons, I guess. It's about 4:23 p.m. I have to do some dishes as well, so we'll see how we go. Alright, thank you very much, YouTube, and catch you. Bye.